Oh, well, first of all, I got to congratulate them on their success. And I think that when success is given and you get information, it's important for us to pass it on to the next generation so that they can repeat the same success and even improve on that success. If it's 100 million, then let's make it 100 billion. So I think it's about planting seeds and watering the seeds. I'm into gardening because I think that the concept of planting the seed and watering it, letting the sunlight hit it, letting it grow, and nurturing it is very important. I like the word nurturing more than mentoring. I think that we have to really give the information to each other as we get it, because sometimes we take the information and don't share it. And we're a little selfish, but we don't realize that it's hurting everyone when you don't share valuable information. Sometimes, people are a little scared that you might go above them. But it's not about them going above you. It's about you continuing the line of success as we move forward. So congratulations. Back in the days, I'll give you a quick story about Kane. When Kane was coming out with his records, I went to support him before I even knew him. I liked the record, and when he seen me come to his show, he asked me, I said, I'm gonna go and watch your show. He said, oh, you wanna stand on the side? I said, no, I'm gonna go out in the audience. He said, why? I said, because I wanna really see it. So then it shook him up like, wow, this guy's different. So then from there, me and Kane's relationship has grown to where Kane is, that's my brother, but it was that kind of genuine connection. And then I'd come back and tell him things he don't like. And then he'll look at him and say, why you say that? And then we'll discuss it and we'll go through different things. I seen a documentary on Sidney Poitier not too long ago, and him and Harry Belafonte was really tight. And it was interesting because they went through a lot of different changes in their relationship, but they always came back to each other because they had a bond. So I think in this time, the artists have to stop believing and living through social media and start communicating directly. I think that's where we lose. That's why this conference is so important, because you're engaging directly. And there's nothing wrong with, doing Zooms and things like that, because we learned through this pandemic that we can communicate like that. But it's so much better for us to be in front of each other. So I think that that's very important. So I think that that's one of the things that's missing in this generation. And I can't say missing, I think it could always be improved. You know what I mean? Because I'll get on the phone. Biz Markie used to come to my house. Where everybody, when they had a new record, they would come to my house. They didn't like every time they came to my house after I gave my opinion. But that's how we grew to have relationships that have stood the test of time, and I'm still friends with all of those guys from then till now. I'm actually friends with a lot of the new artists too, because I would go to their shows and repeat the same thing that I did to Kane. Because I think that one of the things we do is we stop making ourselves vulnerable to each other, and we close off and we feel, I ain't gonna say nothing to him. Who he think he is? He getting money, so he ain't gonna try to listen to me. That's not true. Sometimes they wanna hear from you because it means a lot, So you grew up at a time in hip hop that was very important, and it's still important to this day. And to all the entrepreneurs, I would say to them, to keep on this same subject, network increases your net worth. You see, network increases your net worth because you're engaging, you finding out, do this person need this, this person need that, this person wants you to do a song, this person needs music for something, this one is dealing with this product and they need help with that product. So the more you network, the more you're able to find out what a person needs and what they want. But if you don't network, it's impossible to be successful because you're limiting your abilities. And what you have to offer might be the piece that's missing to someone else. And that's why networking is so important. Networking has been one of the greatest things I've ever done in hip hop. When I was just overseas in Switzerland, I went to the Bally store. And when I went to the Bally store, they found out I was in there. The owners came, they invited me down to this other place, another Bally store they was opening up, and it's a new designer. And I met him. And then he seen me, he said, yo, I want you to come to Milan. And I want you to do the runway. You think you could do the beatbox while you run? That would have never have happened if I would have been in the room just scared or watching TV. You know what I mean? But I gotta say that I think the new generation are networking through DMs and through, they're the new way of doing it. But being in front of a person, there's nothing better than that to me. I think that it's so important to join groups of people that are aligned with your goals and purposes. I think it keeps you in check, and I think that it supports the mission. The mission is you want to be successful, you're an entrepreneur, you want to be out here doing your own thing, you want to be your own boss, you want to call the shots. You need to be in a group of people that think like that, like minds, that will move in that same place and kind of coach each other. And sometimes you'll be surprised at what you can get or be inspired by being in a group of people that are just like you, that feel the same way you do. I always tell people, if I showed you a picture, if you're a black man and it's 3 white guys and 1 black guy in the picture, say, who you think you got more in common with? You'll more than likely point to the black guy because you see yourself. So TSP is about relating to you as yourself, as your authentic self, which means you don't have to put on a mask. You could be real. And being real goes a long way. So I would recommend people to join in and feel it out. I mean, what you got to lose?